It's very simple but very pretty. Once you have your 3 strips, you should, oh crap. Hey everyone, it's Phoebe from Cornelli Crafts, and today I want to showcase some projects that I've made using the free Sale-A-Bration paper that you can earn when you spend $60 or more. My love for paper started ages ago. I remember when I used to come to Toronto, and my cousin and my sister and I would go to this place called Cullen Country Barns. I don't know if anybody remembers that. And we used to just buy stationery and split it between amongst ourselves. So today I just want to show you some projects that are very easy to make, and they just use our designer series paper, but most of us call it DSP for short. The series of paper I'm using is free with $60 worth of product, and it's called Paper Blooms, and it's very pretty. You can't go wrong with this paper. Anything you make with any of these designs is going to be a lovely card. So let's start. This is the first card we're going to make. It's very easy. It just uses 2 different types of patterns. I've already cut the pieces out, and this is what you're going to need. 1 piece that's 4 by 3, and 2 pieces that are 1/2 inch by 3 inches. So we're just going to glue the big piece, the center piece. I'm using my Tombow glue, but you can use any adhesive. You just want to center that. And then you just need your 2 other pieces that go on the side. You only need a very tiny bit of glue. And the sentiment comes from this set, Heal Your Heart. It says, I don't know what I would do without you. And I've just cut the end off here so that it looks a bit like a flag. And the easiest way to do this is a small cut in the middle, and then you just go on the diagonal up until that point from each side. And there's your little flag. I'm also just using Tombow for this. You can prop it up, but it's so thin and so tiny that I think it's just going to be fine like this. And that's your card. So that's card number 1. That was easy, right? Anybody can do this. This next card is also very simple, and I was inspired by the paper that has the big dots. The paper that I'm using here is all 5 1/4 inch, and the smallest one is 1/2 inch. This next one is 1 1/4, and this biggest piece is 2 3/4. So what I've done is I've actually cut one of the circles that matched with the rest of the colors, and I stamped the sentiment on the dots. I'm just cutting just around, and you can leave a little bit of a white border. I know that some people hate cutting, but it's not as bad as it looks. It's not very difficult. So again, don't be afraid to leave some of that white around the edge. So that's where I'm going to put the sentiment, and let's do that before putting it on the card, because if ever you mess that up or you don't like the way it looks, it's not already glued onto your card. So I'm using Night of Navy, and the sentiment is we're in this together. There we go. So I'm going to start by gluing down the biggest piece. Next goes this piece here. And then you're going to put your the thinnest piece here just in between. Like this, and I've propped up the sentiment on a dimensional. For a bigger circle, I like 3 of them. And that's the second card, which was also very easy to make. The third card we're making is also very easy, and it involves just cutting out pieces from the circle page. And I also have a base that is 4 inches by 4 inches. So for this particular card, I used this green base, which is called Soft Seafoam, but you can also use white. And I designed these cards for being very simple, and if you don't have a ton of supplies. So I used this side. This is the 4 by 4, and I've cut out a bunch of the dots here, and then you can just pick which ones you like. I'm just gluing down the first square. You kind of want to center that, or you can put it a little bit more to the top. Also, I'm going to stamp the sentiment before I glue it on, just in case I'm not happy with that, then I can still change it. I also have "We're in this together." And then you just want to place them a little bit randomly, I guess. There, and when you're happy with the placement, you just glue them down. I also don't have any embellishments on these. I know sometimes it's hard for us crafters to not put ribbon or some kind of rhinestones on them, but I just want to keep these very simple. And that's our third card. Here's another version I made using white cardstock, and this one's a great one if you know somebody that doesn't love florals. This is the last card we're making today, and I think this one is one of my favorites. It's very simple but very pretty. So for this one, we're going to need a piece of cardstock that's 3 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then we're going to need one piece of the DSP that's 3 by 3 1/4, which you will cut into 1-inch strips. So for the DSP, we're cutting it in 1-inch strips, and just make sure that your pattern aligns. You don't have to, I just find it looks a little bit neater. Once you have your strips, you're just going to adhere your green piece here, and your 3 strips are going to go kind of haphazard. It doesn't have to be super straight. Once you have your 3 strips, you should, oh crap. Actually, what I always say is stamp it first, which I didn't do, but that's okay. Normally, if you do make a boo-boo, then you can either flip it, the piece of paper, or you can get another one, but we're just gonna have to make do and not mess this one up. So putting the sentiment on here, I used a thank you for this one. Phew, that worked out. Glue my 3 strips down, and I'm not doing these really straight. They can be a little bit askew. For the one that I made the sample, I actually cut out a flower, but you can play around. There's so many pretty images from this one piece. I used the one that has the dark Night of Navy background. So I've cut out a few here so you can see what that looks like. I mean, you can do something like that, but I find that one a little bit too big, so this is what I had originally. Just a cute little flower there for an accent, or you can always choose the pink one. Let's go with pink this time. And here I'm going to cut this one out again, and you can leave a little bit of the navy border. So what I'm doing here is called fussy cuttings, and I actually find that pretty relaxing. It's just a technique where you cut your image out. Sometimes it can be pretty detailed, but you're just cutting it out with some very sharp scissors. There you go. That's really cute and simple. Once again, you're just going to prop that up to give it a little bit of dimension. There you have it. That's the last card. I just wanted to say again how easy these cards are to make, and you really don't need a lot of supplies. You basically just need your paper cutter, some plain white cardstock, and the package of designer series paper to make all these gorgeous cards. Remember, this is the last week of Sale-A-Bration, which means that every $60 you spend earns you a free product from the Sale-A-Bration catalog. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Hope to see you soon in one of my classes.